Gonna give it just a second so YouTube can catch up. And what is up, Broncos Country? And how you doing, Orange and Blue crew? Welcome to another edition of the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on the Orange and Blue Network and on the MHRT Network. We've got some fun stuff to talk about. Today, we're continuing our march through the season and breaking down the matchups weeks 5 through 8. We're also going to talk about some Bo Nix-isms. Have a lot of fun. There's other news coming out in Broncos Country and in Denver in general. There's so much to talk about. So why don't we just go ahead and get to it? This is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. Let's frickin' go.
Smooth, the pins to chew, breaking down plays about to debut. Denver pride in every view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Bright lights of my heart in our view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. From draft picks to game reviews, celebrating wins, analyzing the clues. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. No orange and blue.
Nothing rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
What's up, Broncos Country? How you doing, Orange and Blue crew? Welcome to the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast, June 24th, 2025. I'm the Mile High Viking, Johnny Baki, and with me, as always, my cousin, my childhood best friend, and my co-host, Jay, the Dream Weaver. Weaver, what's up, cuz? How you doing?
Doing all right. Need to get a little horsey going here. Those vibes, man. Crazy off season, full of off season type of news. And I'm sure we'll get into some of the Russell Wilson leakage of news through all the court documents that are out today. Among other, sports topics going on. I would like to give a specific shout out to, or I guess, kind of a reverse psyche, like a no congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder for winning the NBA championship. I hope you kick rocks, and I hope you can't sign any of your talent, and I hate you. So
there's that. And then of course we got to give flowers to the Florida Panthers.
Yep.
For winning their first Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Right at
the tail end of our show. No, they're back to back. They won it last year.
That's right. They did win it last year. That's right. I'm sorry for winning it again.
But I believe this is their first two because they got beat by the Avalanche, obviously, in 96, I think. Yeah, 95, 96, sure.
96.
But other 96. Than that, yeah, they haven't had any success.
Good on them. Screw you, Oklahoma City Thunder. I hope you and your foul bait artist, MVP,
free throw merchant,
choke on a victory chicken bone.
Absolutely.
No, I wanted Indiana to get it. Only because they're pretty close by here. I've been rooting for Indiana Fever since the last few years, since they're the closest WNBA team. And at the same time, like after getting beaten by OKC and watching that flop artist, SGA get MVP over Jokic when obviously it was deserved somewhere else. I can't be excited for them. I can't. I'm sorry. So
yeah, I was gonna say, watching the Achilles snap of Halliburton's leg in slow
Oh,
mo was gut
gross.
wrenching to say the least. I feel for dude. I go, huge respect and props to that guy, man, because he had a valiant effort to go out in Game 7 to even try and play. It's reminiscent of AG, Aaron Gordon going out and playing when he really should not have played either in the Game 7 versus Oklahoma City. So, man, I give mad respect for athletes making millions of dollars that are willing to sacrifice their long-term health for the betterment of the team and, to win a chip, man. And
Yeah.
a big shout out to Halliburton for that effort, even
And
though he's going to
here's
be
the
gone
thing.
for all of next year, probably.
Yeah, all of next year. Very similar to Jamal Murray's injury, and the
Yeah.
kind of thing, the kind of thing that is it's one of those injuries that is not a quick, and there is nothing quick about that recovery. We're talking at least 4 months before he can even start physical therapy.
Yeah.
And the physical therapy alone is almost a year process for that kind of an injury. So yeah, he'll be out for all of next season, and it really sucks for Indiana. But you know what? I don't think they're going anywhere. He'll come back and hopefully be his old self, and Indiana they'll make another push at some point.
They're chippy.
But yeah. Anyway, before we continue, guys, let's get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way real quick, and then we'll keep plugging along. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. We are here we are the Orange and Blue Network. So if you have not already, or this is your first time here, please like, subscribe, share, and comment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and check out the audio version of our podcast on all your favorite platforms. Also, we are partnered with and simulcast on MHRT Network. So please go show them some love, like, subscribe, share, and comment. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, even on Instagram for MHRT Network. Make sure that when you subscribe to us on Orange and Blue Network, that you ding that little notification bell so that you know when we go live and you don't miss any of our awesome content. We just, last night, debuted for the very first episode, the Broncos Bros podcast. That's Monday nights at 7 p.m. Also, during this period between before training camp, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. is the Orange and Blue Blitz with Isaiah. Once we get into training camp, it'll be Monday through Friday. Then you got our show on Tuesdays at 7, Broncos Talk on Wednesdays at 6, Viva los Broncos on Fridays at 6. And then, of course, you have our breaking news podcast. That's why you want to ding the notification bell, called The Fresh Squeeze, the Get Buck Game Day show every game day, and the Buck Your Feelings post-game show every post-game. Guys, it is worth it. Our content is awesome, and you're going to want to be part of it. I promise you. Jay's already holding it up. He's getting ahead of me here. So we're going to go ahead and do it. The sponsor of tonight's show, Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend. You can see the link in the bio below. Give me just a second here. Sorry. There we go. You can see the link in the bio below, dubby.gg for Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend. That is what Jay is holding up right there and about to snort right up his snooter. Dubby,
it'd be rude not to.
Yeah. Dubby's amazing stuff, guys. 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine in every cup. More than enough to kick you in the butt and get you going to start your day, and more than enough to keep you going throughout your day. But Dubby is special in another way because Dubby contains no sugar. It also contains no calories or maltodextrin or fillers or artificial colors. It is all natural amino acids, B vitamins, and nootropics that keep you sharp throughout your day. And the caffeine is derived directly from the coffee fruit. So this stuff is amazing. You don't get the jitters or the crash later on. We both swear by it. I swear I'm going to get I keep forgetting to bring my tub in before the show to be like, hey, I keep it in the kitchen. But man, I'm telling you guys, check out Dubby. I'm going to make it even better for you because at checkout, when you go on and buy yourself some Dubby, punch in code NRWOB10. NRWOB10 will get you 10% off your order. Guys, check it out, man. You won't regret it. All right. Now, more sports talk. Let's see, before we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of our episode today, Josh Kroenke, press conference. Word vomit. Are we ready to ride him out of town on a rail, Jay?
I have never seen a franchise fumble a press conference more so than we saw today. Between the announcements, obviously, of the, I guess I would say, I don't even remember the official titles, but basically co-GMs that are both rookies at their job, one from the G League and one that was, in-house already. Man, the greatest player in the world is getting scrub treatment from a front office perspective, and it is so disappointing. I know that Nuggets Nation, Mile High Basketball out there was just absolutely on fire today because of the wording that Josh Kroenke made about the possibility of trading 15, the aspect of, well, we have a contract extension written up for him, but we don't know if he'll accept it or not. We don't know if he'll agree to it or not. And all of these entities unprovoked. It's not like we had hard-hitting questions from media members asking these things that we would want to know. Josh Kroenke voluntarily came out and said these stupid things on record. So you couldn't have wrote a worse script for the press conference that happened today. And so I'm real disappointed as a avid Nuggets fan.
Oh, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you, Jay. I've never liked Josh Kroenke.
Nope.
I mean, I have no problem with Papa Stan Kroenke. None whatsoever. The man is a very, very smart businessman, and he, and he's great in press conferences. Unfortunately, the apple fell very far from the tree when it came to Josh. He is at least the Denver sports outside of football equivalent of Johnny Bolin, in my opinion. He just sticks his foot in his mouth all the time.
And it's even worse because he has taken a personal responsibility for the Nuggets. Josh has, because he is a basketball player himself, played for Mizzou. Your college.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But he specifically,
I didn't like him when he played there either.
He specifically thinks he knows what he's doing from a franchise building perspective for basketball. And there hasn't been tons of great moves, although, if you peel back the layers and go all the way back, Messiah Ujiri, the original GM of the Jokic era, and kind of going in, Tim Conley, obviously, I guess technically you could say he's responsible for the hiring of Michael Malone back in the day. Like, he has made some really good moves, but all of those good moves that he's has made, have been probably 8 to 10 years ago. It's the classic story of what have you done for me lately?
There's that. And let's be honest, Jay, you're in business. I'm going to school to get my business degree. And one of the first lessons we learn in business is that basically for every good experience a customer has, there are 8 bad ones, or rather, not so much. That's actually the worst way of putting it possible. And I'm so sorry. I'm going to strike. I moved to strike that from the record and reverse. No, if you have a good experience with something, right, you are 8 times less likely to remember that good experience to a bad one.
Sure.
So for all the good that Kroenke may have done, we remember the bad way more.
Yep.
And and the same can be said, for like, let's flop that over to the Broncos for a second. John Elway, incredible quarterback, great quarterback for the franchise. Shit GM.
Oh, terrible.
Okay. Now, did he do a few amazing things? Like, I don't know, bring in Peyton Manning and a few other things? Yeah, absolutely.
DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, like he did some good things.
He did do some good stuff. But when we think about John Elway as GM, do we immediately go to, oh yeah, he was so great, he brought us Peyton Manning? No, we're like, oh man, the Elway era sucked.
Yep.
And then that's because you remember those bad experiences, and that's what Josh Kroenke is doing to our Denver Nuggets right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, you're 100% right.
We got Fanatic Dak in the house. Happy Taco Tuesday. I had hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Yeah, look, it's it's the day before
Did you
payday.
grill them at least?
No, boiled.
Oh my gosh! Did you drink the hot dog water?
No, I'm gonna use that to make ramen later.
Ooh, hey, there you go.
No, it's the day before payday in this house right now, so we're down to the nitty gritty in the kitchen. Hot dogs is what was left. So I ate to serve. I ate to survive. Put it
As we
way.
all do, Johnny. As we all do.
Broncos suck is in the house saying, I'm doing horrible. I'm stuck on mid-mobile Wi-Fi because of Jay.
Now, Johnny, as I was looking at options here for the commenters, I had no idea we had a put user in timeout option. I am absolutely going to start using that.
Oh, but can we can we bend him over our knee and spank him first? Please.
Well, that is proper discipline. Proper discipline. Nothing wrong with that.
Spare the rod, spoil the child, Jay. It's in the Bible.
It is. It is biblical.
Anyway, I feel like Broncos suck needs a spanking, and not the kind that they'll enjoy. Shy Vargas comes in and says that was a bad press call. Agrees. He says bad press conference for the Nuggets. Jody Moncrief coming in. Haven't seen Jody in here in a minute. Says Josh wants to be the next Jerry Jones. Yes, Josh could be the Jerry Jones of the NBA.
Middling.
Yeah, gross.
Good to see you, Mr. Moncrief.
Absolutely, it's been a hot minute since we've seen Jody in our chat, and love Jody's Jody on his show, and y'all are doing great things over there at Orange and Blue Roundup. So, is it Orange and Blue? No, Broncos Roundup. My bad.
Yeah, on the Mile High Sports Network.
Yep.
Go find them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all the fun stuff. Great offerings of content. Love those guys.
So let's get past it. We all know we can honestly say it. If the Denver Nuggets trade away Nikola Jokic, Denver riots.
100%.
I'll be at the front of the crowd with carrying the first torch and pitchfork.
If I see Nikola Jokic in a different uniform than a Nuggets jersey to retire, I'm going to flip out. It is.
Okay. Let me put it this way: if Nikola Jokic chose to leave of his own accord, like free agency came, Nuggets tried to make a deal, he got a better offer, and he decided to walk. That's one thing. But when you have the best player in the world on your team, and he lives, eats, and breathes Denver Nuggets as far as basketball goes, because we all know he lives, eats, and breathes his family and his horses first. But as far as basketball goes, he loves the Denver Nuggets. He loves the city of Denver. He doesn't want to go anywhere. You go and trade his ass somewhere else. Yeah. I will boycott. I mean, if they try to make him a deal and somebody makes him a bigger deal and he walks on his own, that's something else.
And Victory Lab coming in here with Lakers. And my God, if I see another possible trade of Jokic to the Lakers for like Rui Hachimura and like I don't
want Rui
Reeves kid. I don't want any scraps, and I certainly don't want LeBum. There's not a single soul other than Dalton Connect. I will take him. That's about it on that.
Could you think we could get Bronny James for him?
Ooh, no, probably not. We'd have to throw in some first round draft picks.
because we both know Bronny James is the future.
Oh, absolutely.
Of the NBA, Jay.
I mean, we talk about second round draft picks for Nikola Jokic. Bronny's the real second round gem out of the NBA.
Oh, okay. So Victory Lap coming in. Yeah, right. Victory Lap coming in a little late. Jokic not re-signing? No. That's not at all what's happening there, Victory Lap. It's Josh Kroenke, the owner of part of the Kroenke ownership family of the Nuggets, the Avalanche, the Mammoth, all of them. They did a press conference today, and how would you put it, Jay?
unceremoniously.
Unceremoniously, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it. But I was gonna say, like, without being asked, he brought up the possibility. Yeah, voluntarily brought up the possibility of trading Nikola Jokic if the right the right injuries were to occur to the Nuggets. And as Jay put it to me before the show, the mouths of Nuggets Nation dropped to the floor.
Yeah.
So no, it was a bad press conference. It was stupid, and we're gonna move on from it now. Next bit of business. Before we kind of get, like I said, to the meat and potatoes, is of course the news that came out today. Documents that have been released from it was a court situation.
Yeah, so it was a collusion, which is a whole nother topic, honestly, that we should talk about. Is that there was a court case that court documents were released today. Basically, the NFLPA and the commissioner's office colluding together to make sure that there aren't guaranteed contracts for veterans. And I guess this all tied into the issues that Russell Wilson had with our ownership of, the whole benching and like everything that was going on with Russell's contract and the guaranteedness of it. So basically it came out that, a couple things. Penner asked the question right out of the gate when they finally took ownership of the team.
I remember this.
Why do we need to give out a new contract to Russell when he's got 2 years left? Shouldn't we wait and kind of see how this unfolds for him before offering
which is a smart business decision?
We all said it at the time, but and I will give a little bit of credit, at the exact same time frame as when Deshaun Watson got his fully guaranteed contract, which everyone was like, what the heck is going on? Which probably, added to the reasons why the commissioner's office and the NFLPA were like, or not PA, but the owners, I guess. It's not the PA. The PA would want fully guaranteed contracts, but the ownership groups and the commissioner's office colluding together to make sure that we mitigate the amount of fully guaranteed contracts for veterans. And so all of this being brought up, it came to surface that Russell Wilson's camp during contract negotiations were asking the Broncos for a 7-year, $350 million guaranteed contract in the same light as what Deshaun Watson got. And obviously we were steadfast no on that. And thank God we only gave him 3 years guaranteed, which obviously we're still eating one more year of. But it could have been so much worse, Broncos Country. 300.
Well, and here's the thing: the this last year that we're eating, it's not that much compared to the previous years.
Yeah.
So, it's disgusting.
Holy shnikes!
Could you imagine $350 in 7 years guaranteed paying that guy? Like for God's sake, man! If we had paid that and then cut him after 2. We'd be on the hook for 6 more years paying that guy.
Yeah.
We would our franchise literally, granted, George Payton, Sean Payton cut Russell Wilson with technically 4 years left on his contract, right? And managed to make, lemonade out of the biggest lemon in the history of the NFL. And last season, no one thought that we could have done what we did, build the team we built, get the, have the wins that we did because of that one thing. But if you can just imagine with me for a second, 7 years on the hook for that amount of money, dude, we literally would have spent the next decade wandering the wasteland of obscurity. It would have been the worst probably decade in the history, not only of this franchise, but any franchise in the history of the NFL. And that would, of course, include the long tenured, obscurity of the Lions, the Browns, the Jaguars, like it would have been it would have been talked about for centuries to come.
And even though we traded for him. He still technically agreed to it. That might have been enough of a negative cloud over this organization that would have prevented Sean Payton from even wanting to participate in this franchise, because the amount that would handcuff us as far as the maneuvers that we could do in roster building, it would be insane.
It wouldn't be worth it to anybody.
No, nope.
It wouldn't be worth nobody worth having would want to be here. Let's put it that way.
No, of course not. And you see what Russell's doing now. I mean, he's not worth a penny to that $350 million.
No. Victory Lap says colluding. No way. These are honest, down to earth people. Well, and that's but that's the truth, is that they weren't colluding. These were documents that were by court order released, and because they're released, they become public knowledge.
So there was evidence to support that the commissioner's office was giving the advice to the ownerships of the franchises. There was evidence to support that they gave them the advice to not offer fully guaranteed contracts to vets. What they concluded, however, is that there was not enough evidence to show that the franchises acted upon that evidence. So
but
it happened.
It does hold the true NFL bigwigs accountable for their actions.
Yes. Because, like, the commissioner's office, there's absolute evidence that happened. It's just the owners.
I don't think it's any secret. Right, I don't think it's any secret to any of us that Roger Goodell is dirty, dude. I mean, he's very obviously rubs elbows with certain people around the NFL that he shouldn't be, visibly seen rubbing elbows with. I'm talking about like deep sea fishing trips with owners and retreats, corporate retreats with high value veteran players and stuff. He's not clean. But then again, let's be honest, in this country, in this world, what CEO of any company his hands are completely clean. But the point is, like, the NFLPA, which normally most of the time I can't stand the NFLPA. But this time they're making sure that things are above brow. So we dodged a bullet. We didn't have Russell Wilson for almost a decade. God. And and honestly, Russ will probably be out of the league within the next 2 years. Both him and Aaron Rodgers will be out of the league in the next 2 years. I don't foresee any universe I don't see any likely universe where either one continues much past this season.
And Johnny, to that note, another aspect of this episode is to go through weeks 5 through 8, which includes a visit of good old Russell Wilson back to Denver. And we'll see if he ducks us yet again, like he did last year for the Pittsburgh game. We will see.
Oh, most definitely. Before we do that, though, I want to talk. Oh, hang on. Let's see. Victory Lap says, I'm not surprised these folks' greed is next level. Absolutely. It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. Victory Lap, though, saying, we Sean and Bo now, though. And that's the greatest. I mean, good Thank Lord, God. Man. I can honestly say, and that's why this next little segment we're going to do real quick has to do with with Bo Nix, is I don't think I have been this excited about a specific player on this team since Peyton Manning. I mean, he is very unique, very special, very humble, and very down to earth. And this next segment is going to show that. So, guys, we're going to do a quick segment of That's What He Said.
What did he say?
All right, guys, welcome to a segment of That's What He Said. We're going to be pulling up a little clip of Bo Nix' press conference, and this is a few weeks ago. I know that this is not new news. Probably most everybody's seen it, but we really didn't take any time to touch on it, and I think it's really a good thing to hear and talk about. So we're going to pull it up real quick, and we
got a buddy on the team we talk about all the time is, we tell each other, you're still a nobody. You haven't done anything yet. And so we got a lot to prove, and we got a lot to go. Each year you start over, like I said, nobody really knows what anybody has. That's why you go out there and play the season. If we were all what people said we were going to be, we wouldn't play the season. We would just finish with the final standings of what they said we were going to be. So that's why you play the game. That's why you go out there and go through a full season. And, we're going to learn a lot from this time to the season. We're going to learn a lot once we get into the season and go. But, it's we got a buddy on the team we talk about all the time is, we tell each other, you're still a nobody. You haven't done anything yet. And so we got a lot to prove, and we got a lot to go out there and do.
Okay. So I love that clip. I love that clip because the way he's approaching this, like we can all agree, and the more I've been hearing and watching national media the last 2 weeks now, I don't know if you have been, Jay, but CBS Sports, Fox, and even First Take, excluding of course Nick Wright. Everybody is starting to come. It seems to me that national media is, in fact, starting to come around to this understanding that the Denver Broncos are going to be special this season. Yeah. On the Rich Eisen show, and Colin Cowherd, and all, and the Herd with Colin Cowherd, all of them are finally starting to say, yes, the Broncos are going to be something special. You better watch out. Even, I can't stand him most of the time, but even Stephen A. on First Take was like, when asked, who was going to possibly dethrone the Chiefs, literally said, the Chiefs better watch out for the Broncos. Okay. So we can honestly say the expectations are high, as they should be. We had a great season last season. We had, we won 10 games. We broke our, almost decade-long postseason drought. We had a great season. And that being said, expectations are now lifted and higher. For Bo Nix to come out and say, we're telling each other, you're still nobody. We're starting over fresh. You've accomplished nothing. This is the beginning. Don't go out there expecting, that things are going to be exactly as they were. Things are going to be different and things are going to be new. So do it. Dude, that's not only the best possible approach, but also great humility from our leader. What are your thoughts on this, Jay?
No, it is so great to hear your leader say that the internal discussion that they're having is to remind each other that you're still a nobody. You still have so much hunger and desire to be great, and the fire that burns in yourself motivation wise to be the best you can and to be great is something that is in this DNA of this team. And that is why, we draft captains of their college teams. It's why we draft a certain personality in these, draft classes that we have here that we've stacked upon. And it's the camaraderie of that culture that is really, allowed our team to grow and to have future projections that are, what Vegas basically saw us in a year-over-year sense, going from a 4.5, 5-win team to what is it, Johnny? 10?
9.5 right now.
9.5.
9.5 right now is the over-under on wins for the season.
To your point, from a media standpoint, we are the sexy, hot pick of the summer. Of a team that is making waves, that is trending up. The only entity that looks down upon us, that is not still giving us credit, is EA Sports with our 79 Madden rating, which I would continue to put on the table. You should be embarrassed, more embarrassed than you already should be, EA Sports. Thank God the media exclusivity rights is gone next year in 2026. Good riddance, EA. I hope somebody else takes over the baton. Anyway, Bo Nix.
But then we won't get to hear EA Sports. It's in the game anymore.
It's true.
By the way, I've been working on that. I think it was a pretty good impression.
It's pretty good. If there's a great video out there on the World Wide Web of the actual voice of that guy.
Yeah, I've seen him
just randomly doing that to a kid. Just
have you seen the one of him in a video game store and the kid's holding Madden and he walks up behind him and does it?
I haven't seen that one.
I'll have to see if I can find it and send it to you. It's from like 5-6 years ago. It was I think it was like Madden. I think it was like Madden 19 or something. But there was a kid in a GameStop and he was standing, like teenager, standing there holding a copy of Madden, and he was like, "Watch this." And he goes up behind him. And he goes, EA Sports. It's in the game. And this kid, oh my, like,
how could you not do that? Like, okay, so like Kyle Speller, the PA announcer for the Nuggets, or like Alan Roach. How do these people not just walk around doing that to just scare the shit out of people? What a great life that must be.
Well, there's another one. I know that you were never big on them, but I was always huge on the Halo video games. You remember those? And my son is now diehard Halo, and I'm very proud. Apparently I'm doing something right. My kid loves the Broncos. He loves Halo and he loves Star Wars. I'm doing the right things. But
wrong.
There was a video of the dude who was the video game voice of Master Chief. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but there's a video of him and he did a similar thing to that video of the kid in the video game store. There was a kid standing in like a collectibles place and he was holding an action figure from Halo 2 or something. And he walked up behind him. He's like, I need a weapon. Or something, and the kid, like, yeah, right. But anyway, moving on from that, but I really am very excited about our leader being able to come out and say that. And I mean, here's the thing: one thing we can that I can understand, right, is there's going to be ego in the NFL, right? Like, and all of these players, every single NFL player knows that they are some of the best in the world. They know that. Look where they are. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not one of the best, you're not going to be there. So there's going to always be some ego. There's always going to be some knowledge, in your head and your heart and your thoughts that you are one of the best. You'd be, it's part of it. But to kind of have that humility to be like, look, man, yeah, we had a winning season. It means, but right now I'm not focused on what happened last year. I'm focused on what we have to do to win now. And, in this upcoming season and our identity, we don't have it yet. Did we win? Do we have a winning culture now? Yeah, but we haven't won enough, and we haven't won enough of anything for us to really be pounding the table and telling the world that, we are where we need to be. That kind of humility, that kind of mindset is exactly what's going to propel, in my opinion, Bo Nix, especially this team for sure, but Bo Nix individually to a next level player in this league, to a next level quarterback. A lot of people are still being like, I mean, the other day, like, there's no way Bo Nix could be on. It was on Colin. It was on Cowherd. It was on the Herd. And, Cowherd was like, no, there's no way he can be a top 5 quarterback. And I'm like, why not? Look what he did in his rookie season.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's dumb, but we'll get there. And I really love that mentality from him.
Very much so. And, in the video that you shared there, or the picture of him, he's got a Fire John Elway throwback jersey on. And again, the humility and the temperament to be able to know, our fan base and know what, triggers us.
That was not what he was wearing during that particular interview, by the way. That was just a picture that I pulled up from a previous press conference that I liked.
I see. But still, an amazing jersey. And, our previous quarterback, Russell Wilson, would probably be wearing his own jersey with eye paint on still. So it's just such a trash difference. And again, my favorite part of that, again, is the continuation of the culture of saying that we are nobodies and that we need to keep fighting for respect. I will keep harping on the tagline John Gruden gave our defense, anonymous crush. I absolutely love that tag for our defense.
However, you got to remember, Jay, on this network, we've given the defense a new name.
Oh, that's true.
That we want to be, yes, from this moment on, and you're going to help us with this, Orange and Blue crew, the Denver Broncos defense will be known as Cell Block D, baby. Cell Block D. Prepare to get locked down.
Like it. Victory Lap's got a good one, too. He the Orange Bang. She bangs.
She bangs.
Little William Hung throwback there. You betcha.
I don't think Victory Lap likes Cell Block D. Or not that one. He says no. No, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. I put a lot of work into that graphic. He says he's got Bo top 10 right now. Absolutely. Yeah. One, and I mean, can we talk for just a second about the fact that the Broncos offense by ESPN was ranked higher than the Chiefs offense. And also by ESPN, our offensive line was ranked second only in offensive lines, second only to the Eagles.
Pretty good company.
That's a damn good feeling, especially with a new run game.
Yep.
So I'm pumped.
Yeah, I am too, man. The outlook couldn't be brighter for our team in itself. It is sure nice to be on a trending forward team, trending up. I remember this feeling as a Nuggets fan, just across sport here, to always feel disrespected and to finally see it in existence of like the full potential realized is something that I cannot wait to see out of the Bo Sean Payton relationship. And I truly think it's coming. We're not that far away here.
So, yeah, baby, yeah.
It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be so good.
It is. All right, so now it's time to kind of get to the subject matter of tonight, the true subject matter of tonight's show. It is time for us to do a preview of weeks 5 through 8. Last week we did 1 through 4. Jay had us going 3 and 1.
3 and
1 through 4. I had us going 4-0 in weeks 1 through 4. So now we hit week 5. This one is going to be a toughie, Jay.
Yeah.
Because this one, week 5, the Denver Broncos take on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Woo!
In Philly.
Woo!
That's going to be a rough one. Let's talk matchup.
The place where they boo Santa.
Yeah. No, oh, boy.
That's, we talk about litmus test games. That's totally a gut check. Where are we in the grand scheme of the NFL? We're going to get some, games under our belt, like we spoke about, of like the Charger game being the first run defense heavy game where like, all right, let's see how we've improved in that facet of our defense. The Bengal game will be the opposite of pass defense. Where are we on that? The Eagles will be trench warfare. Where are our trenches? Because they are the, supreme trench team. Hence why they are reigning Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm. And the tush push was not banned.
Was not. Kick rocks, Packers.
So we'll be taking on the Eagles with their signature tush push. And you got to remember they're run heavy. You talk about the trench warfare, both offensively and defensively. They are solid. I mean, they're huge. Let's just be honest. I mean,
they are
big butts, big wide hips, big bodies on both the offensive and defensive line. They are huge. They're big dudes, and they are experts at their craft. And because they're so good in the trenches, that's why Saquon Barkley is going to has been absolutely one of the best, running backs of the last decade last season. And we're going to have to find a way, as run heavy as that team is, a big part of that matchup is going to be taking our recently signed linebacker, Dre Greenlaw, and then using, our interior offensive line to choke those holes. Cause they're, now granted, the Denver Broncos defensive line was a top 5 defensive line last season, regardless of what a bunch of people want to say. It was. Statistically, it was. Now we have a run-stuffing off-ball linebacker as well, who's very, very good at that, in Dre Greenlaw. And honestly, we've talked about it enough. I'm pretty confident saying that, and I know I'm not the only one, it's going all over the place, that the Broncos likely have the best defense in the NFL now.
Yep.
If there is anyone that has a chance of, you can't stop him. I don't think you'll be able to stop him, but slowing down Saquon, it's the Broncos.
This is, in my opinion, a Hufanga in the box game where you can put PS2 on AJ Brown and you can put, say a zone coverage over Devonta Smith, and you just kind of, roll the dice with the random bomb that Jalen Hurts is going to throw every once in a while. But you sell out to stop that run. You sell out to make sure that you have enough people in the box to not allow their offensive line to push us around. We obviously were not successful in that in the Buffalo playoff game as they just decimated us. But I think
we addressed that.
Yeah. Hufanga in the box is going to be killer. I think that this is a classic Alex Singleton game. If Alex Singleton is on the Greenlaw as well. But we have to stop the run. If you stop the run, this team's not that great.
They are.
Control.
You still got Jalen Hurts. Okay, Jalen Hurts is not a bad quarterback. He's a good passing quarterback. You, of course, like you said, they have AJ Brown. That's dangerous.
Very.
Who else do they have? Wide receiver wise, Dallas Goedert.
Tight end. Devonta Smith is a super fast speedster. Yeah. PS2's counterpart at Alabama. They love to go against each other, so that'll be a matchup to watch.
While watching film of Alabama practice, that very, very, very often PS2 shut him down a lot.
For sure.
So they're familiar with one another, but I'll go ahead and give the edge to PS2 in that matchup. But the thing is, they do have the weapons that even if we stop the run, they are still dangerous. Now, granted, we got to remember we have probably the best defense in the NFL going into this season. So, especially secondary. If there is a team that can stop the run and then whose secondary can eliminate the big chunk yardage that they can gain, it's the Denver Broncos. Now, that being said, flip side, they also have they have the Vic Fangio led Eagles defense who was the best last season, who literally made the Chiefs offense look foolish in the Super Bowl. So it is not going to be a cakewalk for our offense, even with our new joker at tight end, with our new run game, with our, hopefully up and coming and soon to be breakout stars at wide receiver. It is not going to be a cakewalk. And that's why I kind of agree here with victory lap. Low scoring, whoever wins the turnover battle wins.
For sure. Absolutely. It's going to be a low scoring game because at the end of the day, they're going to be a lot of running the ball. Both teams are not going to take huge chances because I kind of feel like both of our secondaries are very opportunistic when it comes to turnovers. We have the white cornerback battle, Deshaun Cooper versus Riley Moss, former.
We had the white one. We had the great white hope first.
That's true. The Iowa Hawkeyes, battle it out in white cornerback supremacy. And it'll be a very interesting game to watch, I think, from our offensive standpoint of running the ball. Because our running game obviously last year was sus, not great.
Jay, don't ever say that again, please. Sus. Stop it. You are a millennial. You are a millennial. We don't use that crap.
Well, no cap, Johnny. No cap.
Oh God, you're fired. No, we're still cousins, right? But you're fired.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game from a run standpoint. And, J.K. Dobbins, I think this is going to be a J.K. Dobbins game to see what we can get between the tackles.
If you look at it, I think the three running backs we definitely carry are J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, and Jaleel McLaughlin. The way that Jaleel showed up in minicamp, and the more I was talking the other day in DMs with someone from DNVR that was at minicamp practices and stuff. Not gonna drop any names, but I'm pretty sure anybody can guess who I'm talking about. And and he was saying that Jaleel McLaughlin looks like a different player.
Yeah,
this season. His stops and cuts are different. He's faster. He seems more powerful, and he seems like he's got a little bit more downhill speed behind him this season, going into this season. So he's up to dude, and I may be Now, eating crow on my predictions that Audric Estime would make this roster and that Tyler Bidet might be the sleeper. I think we carry 4, but I really do think. Well. But I do think that at the end of the day, the 1-2 punch is going to be RJ and JK, and then Jaleel McLaughlin will come in there, for some different gadget runs and stuff like that. That being said, it is a totally different running back room. It's going to be literally, and even going into week 5, that's still early enough in the season that there won't be. I don't think there will be enough
attrition.
Not just attrition, but enough film and enough, enough on film evidence to truly game plan exactly what you're going to do against our new run game, because no one's going to know what to expect. That might work in our favor, but I'm as much as I hate to say this, as much as I want it to be a win, and God bless it, if it's a win, I'll be the happiest camper. But man, I got to count this. I got to count this as our first L. My first L for our team this season. This would be your second.
This would be my second, but I think it's a, if this was at home, I could maybe get on board with the, on the fence type of pick and, 50-50 toss up, but I think Philly will probably be favored maybe double digits in this game. So yeah, dude, this will be a Philly win. This is probably the one game on our schedule that I am the most confident in a loss, actually, if I look at the totality of the schedule.
Yeah. And I mean, and is that really such a surprise, or, we're taking on the reigning Super Bowl champions.
Yep.
They were that for a reason. They made the Chiefs look foolish.
We are not good historically on the East Coast, and especially at that 1:00 kick. So I just don't feel well about it.
Things have changed so much for the Broncos, though. I don't know how much I can count on the history part of it.
True.
It's a whole new team, whole new culture, everything. I don't want to go that way. All I can say is that the Broncos are taking on the reigning Super Bowl champions, who are the Super Bowl champions for a reason. They are not going to be easy. It may be one of the most difficult games of our season.
One of the reasons I brought up that it's an early kickoff and that, on the East Coast, is that the game before is the Cincinnati game on Monday night. So it's a short week.
Yeah.
So that's even more of a kick in the nads to go cross country on a short week.
Sure. And Shy comes in I'm going to go victory lap first. The X factor, we are more hungry.
True.
And that could be a feather in our cap. And there is the fact that it's very possible that the Eagles, just like everybody else, will overlook us going into the game.
Not wrong.
Hi, Dad.
Hello. Hold on. I have a child who is poking his head into the podcast. Wave hi and then disappear.
Internet famous.
All right, Sammy, you're famous. Now get out.
Hi.
Nice meeting you too, son. Oh my goodness.
Put her there.
Children. Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you. I've heard great things. Yes. All right. All right. So now let's move on. Week 6. Denver Broncos, or the New York Giants, come to Denver to face off against the Broncos.
Well,
our proverbial England. Russell Wilson reunion.
No. Hold up. This is the Jets, and this is in London. This is our London, England game.
I'm sorry. I jumped the gun.
It's okay. You jumped weeks. But this is the all, lauded London game, which I hate with a passion, which we didn't have it on our schedule. Jacks everything up from, scheduling standpoint. And again, Philadelphia on a short week after the Monday night game. And then we follow that right back up with a trip abroad. I don't like this part of the schedule. It's really rough, I think, from a conditioning team. I don't know. Yeah. I don't like it at all. So what do you think of just the aspect of being Across the pond, as they say.
Across the pond, yes, in jolly old London. No, yeah, yes. Oh, D-Rock popping in. We may start slow, but once we gel, ooh, scary.
It's true.
Well, okay. How do I feel about jumping the pond and going into what I can't remember the name of the stadium, playing a football in a soccer stadium in front of a London crowd against
Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham, yes, Tottenham. I'll take a biscuit and some tea, please.
Mm-hmm.
I actually spent some time in my teen years, several weeks in London. Loved the city, beautiful place. I love the food. Oh my God, love the food.
Really? You like eating baked beans for breakfast?
I did not eat baked beans for breakfast, thank you. But there's a thing there called a pasty. And it's not that kind of pasty.
Yeah, I didn't know where we were going here.
It's like a flaky crust, a super flaky crust, kind of like a croissant. But it's like a turnover. It's like think like a turnover, but it's filled with meat, cheese, and liquor.
Oh wow!
And I was 17 years old, and the first one I got had like some kind of braised beef with real cheddar cheese and rum in it, and it was one of the most amazing things I had ever eaten in my life. I went back and got like a pork. It was like a pork belly with Swiss cheese and whiskey, and it was like, I don't know. It was one of some of the greatest thing I'd ever eaten, and I swear to God, if I could find that here in the States, I'd be the happiest man alive. But anyway, jolly old London, we're taking on the New York Jets. The New York Jets are the New York Jets. All right. I am not who's the quarterback there now?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, yes.
We should not be scared at all about
I am not.
Fields.
I have never been afraid of Justin Fields. I have never seen Justin Fields as any kind of true threat, so to speak. Now granted, we are 1-1 against him over the last 2 seasons.
He beat us last year, to be fair.
He did. He beat us in week 2, Jay.
Yeah.
Our team was still figuring out our identity in week 2.
True.
I mean, Bo Nix still hadn't figured it out. When did we truly hit our stride?
Tampa.
Week 3 in Tampa.
Yep.
Week 2 against Pittsburgh was just a bit.
Terrible.
We were not ready yet. Yeah. But I don't believe it's going to be the same story. The New York Jets are still the New York Jets. Jay, you were at the game against the Jets last season in that disgusting weather. The rain game where we won 10-9. And I don't know. I don't think I'm that terribly concerned.
I think it's still going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a muck-it-up game still, which it doesn't ever, it always leaves a margin for error, unfortunately, because it's going to be a close game because I don't think we're going to be running away with it. Field conditions usually suck at Wembley, at this stadium.
It's soggy. It's England.
Always,
it's soggy.
Always. I think it's a dub, easy, but not like some blowout, not like supreme confidence of, putting 40 up.
Justin Fields is still going to be getting used to that system. And, the guy has jumped from system to system now over and over. Now, that might work in his favor, but it could also be a detriment to him right now. Yeah. In addition, they don't have the defense. No. I mean, they've got Sauce. Okay. Yeah. You got Sauce Gardner. Okay. Who, for whatever stupid reason, PFF put above Pat Surtain, even though Pat Surtain's DPOY and was the we never talked about it. It was one of the funniest things was that in addition to him being DPOY, PFF had him ranked as the most valuable non-quarterback player in the NFL, but still had him behind Sauce Gardner.
Sounds like some New York media bull crap.
You know what? I'm going to steal one from you, Jay. That was sauce.
Yeah, it was sauce.
Oh, I feel so gross saying that. I feel disgusting having said that word.
I feel like I need to do like one of those. I can't even remember what it's called, but some millennial dance, some TikTok dance out there.
There's plenty of them. I don't do any of them, but anyway, it's the Jets. Besides Sauce Gardner, they don't have the defense that's going to be able to really stop this new Broncos offense, in my opinion. And let's be honest, besides Garrett Wilson, they don't have a whole lot going for them right now offensively either. And our defense is going to eat them alive.
Just a real quick squirrel moment, because it reminded me. So there's a video out there, and you should absolutely go watch it because it is hilarious, about Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders in a huddle at OTAs, and Shedeur was like doing what he does. He was
doing his
dance move,
yeah.
And he looks over at Joe Flacco and he's like, "You ever pull one of these out? You ever do one of those?" And Joe Flacco's dead face looked at him and said, "No, I'm a grown man. I don't pop dance moves. I would be embarrassed if I did that."
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that and I laughed so hard. Look, I have no love in my heart for Joe Flacco. After 2013, I have no love for Joe Flacco in my heart.
No.
And after he came to Denver and and was our quarterback for one season and couldn't get anything done as our quarterback, I have no love for him. But man, to tell that young whippersnapper, who, by the way, I still love because I still own his jersey, but to tell him to shut up and grow up, dude.
I'm a grown man. I'd be embarrassed if I was doing that. Such an old man comment. Such a get off my lawn.
Oh, I love it though, because I'm an old man now. I'm 36 years old. I'm handicapped. I've been to war twice. I don't go out on the weekends. I don't go to bars. I don't go drinking. I drink in the comfort of my home. I sit in front of my television set and I yell at children to get off my lawn. I'm an old man now. I love that comment by Joe Flacco.
Hilarious. Sorry, didn't want to go too hard squirrel there, but that reminded me. Such a classic video. Anyone out there that hasn't seen it, please go find that. It is worth your time.
Broncos Suck says, "Did you have to yell no cat?"
For show. We're gonna get that for show.
As my sons would say, that's straight Sigma.
Oh, whatever. See, that one's off.
Oh God,
I don't know anything.
Oh, my son will be playing video games and be like, "Oh, Sigma," and I'm like, "What the does that even mean?"
Yeah,
but
I just get called bro a lot by my kids. Bro,
yeah,
bro, do you
mine
even
too.
know, bro?
Mine too. No, my youngest is in a Dawson is in a kind of a stage of disrespect. I'm not sure exactly where it's coming from.
Isn't that what a kid is?
Yeah, but
the stage
comparatively with my other two sons, Dawson is taking it to a level I've never experienced. To the point where you tell him to do anything and he's yelling at you or throwing things, stomping his feet, all this stuff. And my other kids they had moments, but they weren't like that. So this is kind of a new thing for me, but he's like, even earlier today, he finished his sandwich at lunch, set the plate down on the ottoman in the living room and started to walk away. And I said, pick that up, take it to the trash. He stomped his foot and was like, "Oh, come on, bro." And I was just like, let's find out what happens. You yell at me like that again, kiddo.
Yep. But your days are numbered.
Yeah, man, I can replace you, believe me.
Yep. The disrespect.
Richie Rich in the house saying, "Evening, both. What's up, Rich? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you." Victory Lab says, "When a female say bro."
Dude, imagine the bro battles that Jerry Jeudy and Shedeur Sanders are probably having right now as we speak. Probably trading TikTok moves, probably battling each other on Fortnite, just doing all classic bro stuff. Probably got sandals with socks on right now. Flat-filled hats,
gray sweatpants.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, definitely. Sipping White Claws. White Claws.
You mean crushing White Claws?
Yeah, Crush and White.
Oh God.
Give me my liquor and beer all day. Screw White Claw. Anyway, although man, God, I want to. I can't wait till I get paid tomorrow because I want some more of that Modelo Chilada.
Well,
that stuff.
You're gonna make fun of me. Okay, you might even throw the fruit term at me here, but this guy right here, a watermelon summer cider.
I love ciders. I love ciders.
Great
ciders are fantastic. Not watermelon because I don't like watermelon.
You don't like watermelon?
I've never liked watermelon.
It's crazy.
Honestly,
bro.
I don't think it's about the taste. Honestly, I don't. I think it was a texture thing for me. I didn't like the texture, which then made me not like the taste, which then made it so that like things that taste like watermelon, I'm like,
I get that. It's kind of like eating a sponge.
Yeah. But I love ciders. I love the apple ciders. There's a
perfect summer drink. Refreshing,
absolutely
crisp.
Very refreshing.
Oh yeah. Big stuff.
Although, dude, I'm telling you, dude, go out and get yourself a case of that Modelo Chilada.
Yeah, it's on my list. I gotta
dude,
go that.
It's literally, I mean, I feel like I could drink it for breakfast because it's like drinking a sparkling V8 with a slight with a flavor of Modelo beer in it. It's wonderful. Victory Lap. Victory Lap says White Claws are for guys that can't hold their liquor.
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
There's a time and a place.
Now,
time and a place.
I'll say this. I have enjoyed not White Claw. I've enjoyed Truly.
Yeah, Truly.
I've enjoyed those like by the pool.
Sure.
Like I said, time and a place. But if I'm sitting in this room watching sports or Sports Center or something else, I'm not drinking a White Claw. I'm either sipping a whiskey or I'm drinking a beer.
And I know we're off on a big tangent here, but I also think you're an absolute psychopath if you drink seltzers in the winter. If you're sitting down on a cold winter's day in December and you're cracking a seltzer, there's something mentally wrong with you.
Yeah, and Victory Lap agrees with me. Truly is better.
It truly is.
Oh. It truly is. Oh, punny. You're so punny, Jay. No, since we're on the topic of alcohol, now.
Honestly, we probably need to have this discussion before we get to the Giants game anyway, so.
Oh yeah. I don't know, man. Like I can't drink cold. I gotta have a burn especially when it comes to like something other than beer. It better burn a bit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I can understand that. I'm not that big a burn person because I really like wine, so I've gotten used to the sweetness or tartness to that, where I don't get the burn. But
for me, wine's a dinner thing, though. I'll drink wine with dinner.
Yeah,
I won't sit and sip wine in my living room. Like, if I'm sitting at the dinner table, I'll have a glass of wine with my meal. Sure. Like a red with a steak or a white with fish.
It complements food really, really well.
Absolutely. A few years ago, Isaiah and I, at the time Isaiah was still married, Isaiah and his wife, me and my wife, we went to a wine and food pairing at a Nashville area winery. And it was one of the greatest things I've ever done. It was wonderful. Like they had specific wines to pair with specific foods. And you just grab your glass and then you pick the thing up. You take a bite, chew it, sip. Oh, yeah. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. But, I'm not drinking wine unless I'm eating dinner. So
I can understand that.
All right. So sorry, let's move. So moving on. Do we both agree the Jets game is a win?
Yeah, it's a dub.
It's a dub.
Yeah.
We'll be tired. We'll be jet lagged, but it's a win.
Yeah. I agree. So hold up real quick. So we've got a 5-1 record for you. 5-1 record for you.
5-1. Mm-hmm.
So I am 4-2. We're just a game apart here. Game apart still.
Yeah,
so
we got it.
Pretty even.
I just finished my beer, so I don't have another one right now. But Raider Shield Family, new name in the chat. First time ever. Raider Shield Family. Yo, Bronco family. So I'm going to toast you with water because that's all I got left. But here's to you, Raider Shield family. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Orange and Blue crew. Regardless of your fandom, we welcome everybody from all fan bases. We love having people in here to talk about football. Well, obviously, we talk Broncos, but we always love to talk football with everyone. So welcome and thank you for joining us. If you haven't already, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. He says Bronco Libre told him to check us out. So that's
they were on the Broncos talk. So they are not new to the network, but they are new to the
show.
But
new to Nothing Rhymes
here. Yep.
New to Nothing Rhymes for sure. So welcome and thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. All right, so the Jets game's a dub. It's an obvious dub. We win. We walk away. I have 5-1 now. You have 4-2. I've stuck with that since the schedule release. And I will honestly not break from it until it happens.
Sure.
So now we move on to week. What are we at? 6?
7.
Week 6, 7. Yep. Sorry. 7. Now, since I jumped the gun earlier, here we are at the proverbial Russell Wilson reunion in Denver. Denver Broncos versus the New York Giants on Sunday, October 19th. Afternoon game. Kickoff around 2:05 p.m. Man, here we go. The last time the Broncos played against the Giants was almost 4 years ago, 2021. We beat them 27-13. And the New York Giants had one of the worst records in the NFL last season. So, thoughts, Jay?
So the PS2 Malik Neighbors is going to be a fantastic matchup. I would imagine they'll be put on each other the entire game. I believe personally that Neighbors is probably the best wide receiver in the game other than Justin Jefferson. I truly believe he's better than Jamar Chase. And I think he is someone that actually could give PS2 some trouble, some business. Granted, the famous Mike Kliss quote of, you don't have a space program if you just have astronauts and no space program. Who's throwing him the ball? Russell Wilson.
That's what I was about to say.
Duress.
You just now stole my point that I was about to throw right at you.
We cannot foresee that the defense that is number one in pressures from last year is not going to give Russell Wilson problems, whom we all understand and know to show that, he does not deal well with pressure.
Run!
It's going to be a rough game for Russ. If we
It's
truly see
Russ,
maybe we'll see Jameis chomping on some dubs. We might see him as well, but we've already seen that story as well last year, with the Cleveland game.
We beat him. We beat him last year. And and Jackson Dart. I'm not scared of Jackson Dart.
Nope.
I don't think he's any
plays. Even better.
let a rookie play. I mean, we've already talked about what's going to happen to Cam Ward in week 1 against the Denver defense. Let Jackson Dart take on the Denver Broncos number 1 defense. In that game, please. Look, I'm not scared. Yes, Malik Neighbors versus PS2 is intriguing. If there's anybody that can run routes on PS2 better than probably anybody, it's probably Malik Neighbors. Even honestly, I believe Malik Neighbors could run routes on PS2 better than Justin Jefferson.
Maybe.
That being said, PS2 is still PS2, baby.
Yeah.
Yep. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if Russell Wilson's throwing. It doesn't matter if Jameis Winston is throwing. And it definitely doesn't matter if Jackson Dart is throwing. This Denver secondary is going to eat them alive. And the pass rush, they do not have a good offensive line.
No,
our pass rush is about to feast like it's it's Thanksgiving Day and they just brought out the third turkey. You know what I mean? Like they are going to eat. They're going to eat and eat and eat. And they also don't have much of a defensive line. So offensively, our run game is going to probably get going pretty good against them. That's going to open up a lot more in the pass game, especially.
I agree.
They don't have the secondary to really. They do not have a true shutdown secondary. Let's put it that way.
Nope.
And Bo is so
tough.
damn accurate. Yeah, Bo is so damn accurate and good at reading these defenses. I'm not scared of the Giants at all.
I kind of forgot to mention this, but another one of my despised players is on this team too. Came through. He's a rookie this year. Cam Scatabo. Can't wait to see him average a yard a carry maybe. Future fullback in the NFL, Cam Scatabo. Can't wait to see him do absolutely nothing against our front four.
And if he manages to get through our front four, be met very quickly by Hufanga or Greenlaw.
Yeah. And then Tracy is their other running back who is dynamic. Like he's pretty good. He's got some burst to him, but they are not. There is nothing scary about their roster on the whole. Malik Neighbors is a top tier player. Other than that, their cupboards are pretty bare. So I'm not scared about this game. The only troublesome thing is from a scheduling standpoint. Again, it's not technically a short week, but it's coming off a London game where
it's coming off a London game for us, and for them, it's coming off of a Thursday game. So they'll have had a lot. They'll have had 10 days.
Yep. Another big aspect to this game, this is the Demaryius Thomas retirement game where we put him in the Ring of Fame and we honor the Super Bowl 50 team. So we are going to have immaculate vibes in the stadium for this game, but
this is the home game that I am going to do everything possible to make it to.
I have a hotel booked already for this game. So I'm just kind of waiting in the background here.
Waiting in the wings.
Buy a ticket here. So yeah, I'm gonna try and be at this game as well.
Yeah, I want to be at this game. I don't know if I can make it happen, and it's honestly it comes down to a PTO and work. But I want to try to make it happen. If there's one home game I make it to this season, that's the one I want to be at.
TT, man.
Raider
Day.
Let's see. Raiders Shield says we've worked with MHRT to collab on a few things until the season begins. We all hate the effing Chiefs. Therefore, here I am. He also says DZ and Richie also mentioned you that I should go here. I'm not a hater or a troll. I feel we can help each other. I'm a Raider fan since 1971 and just started my own channel of near 200 subs. Congratulations and well done.
Dude.
And that's exciting.
That's
awesome. I cannot say that I've been a Broncos fan since 71. I am not nearly that old. However, Jay and I were both born into a super fan family in 1989 and 1990. So I would honestly say that we're lifelong Broncos fans. And holy crap, Raiders Shield family dropping us a $20 super chat, baby.
Appreciate you, Raiders Shield family.
Incredible. Same comment. But thank you for your support, Raiders Shield. Oh my gosh, we are so thankful to you, and I really hope that you have a wonderful day and just go. I can't say go Raiders. I can't bring myself to say it, so I'm gonna say go football.
Hey, honestly, we can just all unite, like he said, under
in our hatred of the Chiefs.
Yeah, go kick rocks. Kansas City. I'm all good for that. And we'll have to check out your channel, man. I'm excited.
I'll be finding you. Drop the name of your channel on YouTube in the chat, and I will be subscribing as soon as the show is over.
Heck yeah, man!
You have my word on that. And any Raider fan, I have quite a few Raider fan friends. I will be passing your information off to them. You have my word. So, all right, we can agree. Dub, Giants fall in Denver. I always love to bring this up because it is such a important thing to me. Is that one of the most memorable games of my life in attendance? I have the towel hanging on my wall over here. You can't see it right now, but it was the towel given at the inaugural game of Invesco Field at Mile High on September 10th, 2001. That I attended with my grandfather, with mine and Jay's grandfather. There he is right here. That's you, Papa Bear. And we won that game, and it was a wonderful win. And the next day, the Twin Towers fell. Every time we play the Giants, it's one of those things that's just etched in my brain, is that I attended that game with our grandpa, and then the next day, the whole world changed, and not many, and only 7 years or 9 years later, I was at war. Because
I was going to say, super weird. I went to a game that season as well, Johnny, later on, and it was the game that we declared war with Afghanistan, and we like announced the plans of. And I remember being in the stadium for that. Just what a wild year! What a wild year in itself, obviously. But the intertwining with current events and sports is all one of those things that makes it stand out.
Current events, indeed. Current events, indeed. Raider Shield family says, check us out until the season begins. All I ask is everyone does not make anything personal, but shit talk is encouraged. Oh, buddy,
Absolutely.
I'm there for that. I'm there for that.
Absolutely.
That's the beautiful thing. We try to keep it calm, cool, and collected here. Do we have our rivalries? You bet your ass we do. But at the end of the day, we're all football fans. We all are united, not necessarily, we might be united by our love of a certain team, but we are all united by our love of the game of football. It brings together everyone from every different background, every gender, every religion, everyone who loves football. We all come together and unite on that. And that's where it should be. And that's the way it should be. That's why that's why a Raiders fan, despite the fact that, honestly, no offense to you, Raider Shield, there is no, even though I hate the Chiefs, there is no team in as a whole that I've ever despised more than the Raiders, because that's how I was raised, was that the Raiders were the truest of enemies for the Broncos. But at the end of the day, you pop in here and I'm like, what's up, man? Hey, how are you? Thank you for joining us. And I know that the feeling will be reciprocated when we pop into your chat on your show.
Yeah.
So, that's true fandom. That's true union.
Very much so. At the end of the day, we're just guys talking about sports, man. Like, so much more to life than, the rivalries of sports, the made up conflicts.
You say that, Jay, but how often do we let the outcome of sporting events dictate our mood for the rest of the week?
Well, that's very true. I mean, that's very true. That's what, sports drives the emotional stability of my life in a lot of times.
There you go. Broncos suck. One of our resident trolls popping in saying, Broncos suck. Browns are superior. In what universe?
Man, he picks the weirdest teams to get behind. The Browns and the Jaguars, like two historically awful teams. Like,
awful.
It's not even an argument.
Like, Browns are not superior and haven't been in decades.
Horrible. They're terrible.
Let's see. Oh my God. Well, Raiders Shield. First of all, D-Rock dropping a sub for Raiders Shield.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Raiders Shield also a fellow veteran. Says, I was on the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier when we bombed Iraq circa 2003. The ship POTUS landed on as mission accomplished. U.S. Navy Senior Chief retired.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
Awesome.
From one veteran to another. I was U.S. Army, 2010 to 2018, 315 infantry, and 1327 air assault infantry combat medic. So, thank you for your service, sir, and all the respect in the world, Senior Chief. My father was a fireman on the USS Richard B. Anderson, circa 1974. So, all the love and respect for the U.S. Navy and for you, sir. And he says, U.S. Army saved my life twice in Iraq. Was one of those people a medic? But he says, my brother, never Iraq for me. I did Afghanistan twice. And once was more than enough for that country. So, But anyway, we got to get to it. We're at 1:24 on our time now. We still have one game to get to on our breakdown and review. So let's get to it. We Broncos get the dub against the Giants at home on the Super Bowl 50 anniversary game, and also the Ring of Fame induction of Demaryius Thomas, rest his soul. God rest his soul. And so that puts the Broncos now, by my reckoning, Jay, I have the Broncos now at 6-1. You have them at 5-2.
That's correct.
Yep. So week 8, here we go. Denver Broncos versus the Dallas Cowboys.
So again, one of my favorite stats that I remember saying for I believe, preseason game. I think it was preseason. It might have been a regular season game, but we have not lost to the Cowboys since Bill Clinton was in office.
No, we have not.
I believe it's like 94, I want to say, is the last time we lost. And that was like the heyday of the Cowboys, obviously. Yeah. We dominate this franchise.
Troy Aikman. I believe the last time the Broncos lost to the Cowboys was against Troy Aikman.
Yep, 1995, September 10th. Yep.
Troy Aikman. So here's the thing. The Cowboys, to this day, are still, in my opinion, the most overrated team in the For some weird reason, they are still the darlings of the NFL media.
America's team.
Yeah, they're America's team. They ain't been America's team in 30 years.
We're down bad if that's America's team.
Yeah, for real, man. But the point, and here's the thing. One of my battle buddies, one of my buddies from the Army lives with me. He's my live-in battle buddy. And he's from Dallas. He is a Cowboys fan, and it is hell. At least that part of it. But the thing is, dude, it's Dak Prescott. We know what Dak Prescott is, okay? For whatever reason, he's still a darling of the NFL. They still talk about him like he's the second coming of football Jesus and all these things. But the guy has done literally not a damn thing in the NFL. We know what he is. He is nothing special. He is not, in my opinion, not a terrible threat. He's got weapons around him. CeeDee Lamb, and oh my God, Raiders Shield family with another $50 super chat.
My gosh, thank you.
$70 from Raiders Shield tonight. My goodness, I am floored and absolutely honored and blown away at your kindness and generosity, my friend. He says, as a veteran and a combat medic, Johnny, I owe my life to your core. Therefore, I always have your back regardless of your shitty team choice. Ride high, brother, knowing that the chosen MOS allowed me to retire at 25 years. Much love. God bless you. And thank you. It is an honor to know that someone from my corps saved your life. I myself would not be here if not for another fellow member of my corps. So I can tell you right now, God bless you and thank you for your service and your sacrifice. And Broncos, Raiders, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you and I are bonded in blood. So thank you so much, Raiders Shield family. I will definitely be reaching out on an individual level to you. D-Rock, mind blown and applause. Unbelievable. Absolutely unreal. So here we go. Back to it so we can get ready to get out of here with ample time to get our children to bed. But I'm not afraid of the Cowboys. They have some offensive weapons. Okay. They have CeeDee Lamb. That's real. They have George Pickens now. That's real. But dude,
Johnny, you're missing their biggest weapon.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams.
Yeah, of course.
Pookie is back in the house. Reunion
him
game
and
we never knew we needed.
Him and who else? Who was the other? Who? I can't remember who else is in that room Now that they've let Tony Pollard go, and
so they drafted, I want to say his name's Jalen Blue, the running back.
Jalen Blue. Yep, Jalen Blue from Texas.
He's a speedster. I liked him a lot. Like I would have.
He's quick.
Him.
He's quick, but here's the thing: he can't take hits well.
Yeah, because they lost Rico Dell. He's in Carolina, so I mean their cupboards are pretty dang bare when it comes to that. And a majority of their offensive line retired. I think they had 2 guys retire in the offseason.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, they're recreating the wheel down there.
They lost some defensive pieces as well. Not that they had a very formidable defense to begin with, but they lost 2 defensive pieces.
Yeah, Micah Parsons is terrific. So it shouldn't be a hard game, I wouldn't think, especially at home. Again, it is such a game changer when you go down the line at these teams and their strengths. To be able to say PS2 is going to lock down your best player no matter what. CeeDee Lamb will be nothing in this game. Like
not against PS2.
But I guess, similar to what we said about the Cincinnati Bengal game, this will be a very good test for Jahdae Barron or Riley Moss or both against George Pickens, because George Pickens is legit. He is terrific. And Dak Prescott is a serviceable quarterback. Like, he's not
serviceable. Terrible. Yes. Is he dangerous? No.
True.
And especially again, and I'm going to bring up this comment from Raiders Shield. Honestly, for $70, for $70 in one episode, man, I'm going to bring up every comment this guy ever drops. He could just type in Flibberty Gibbet and I'm going to read it. Raiders Shield says Broncos back end defense is the best in the West so far on paper. I'm going to add that. Until we put pads on. Yes, but I truly believe that pads on or off, on paper or not, the entire world's going to see it. The Broncos had one, arguably the best secondary as a whole in the NFL last season, and then the addition of Jahdae Barron, who won the Jim Thorpe Award as the best cornerback in college football last season, just adds to that. And I got to point out, as always, Riley Moss, the great white hope, the white running back, the white cornerback. Was because of his positioning opposite PS2 was the most, until he got injured, was the most targeted cornerback in the NFL up to the point of his injury last season. And during that time, he was 3rd in the NFL in pass breakups. So that this secondary is something to be reckoned with. It's scary. Yeah. Raiders Shield, this is the true question about this game, Jay. Can Dak win a big game? So far, the answer is an emphatic no.
Nope.
He crumbles under pressure. And let's just be honest. Jerry Jones has done that franchise, even though I'll say this, football would not be on television or anything else what it is today, were it not for the likes of Denver Broncos owner Pat Bowlen and Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. They turned it into the mainstream media that it is today. Those two are almost single-handedly or dual-handedly responsible for football being the mainstream sport that it is. However, Jerry Jones is a giant raisin joke. And I say raisin because he's got to be like, he's starting to crumble from the inside out. Al Davis as well. That's a good point.
Al Davis, that is very true. Al Davis,
that is very
critical.
Very critical. Very critical. But it's going to be okay. That's he makes a good point here. We have a Jim Thorpe Award winner on our practice squad, so not a stat or award I hold much weight on.
Yeah,
I get that. But I do believe he's in the nickel, at the nickel cornerback position, Jahdae Barron's going to be something special.
And to be fair, Travis Hunter should have won that award. Let's be honest. But, to each their own, Jahdae Barron.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So, Jack Kenna popping in the house saying, at the hosts, salute. And
Kenna.
He says, at 93 Nav, my brother, salute. And then, Raider Shield reaches out to his fellow brother in silver and black and salutes Jack Kenna. Jack pops in and asks, what are we talking about tonight, gentlemen? Well, pretty much we kind of talked about a little bit about Bo Nix and his humility and his mindset in the offseason. And we've covered some Nuggets talk, a little bit of hockey talk, and then we've been breaking down the Broncos weeks 5 through 8 matchups because next week we'll be covering 9 through, I think. When's our bye week, Jay?
Is
it 12 or 13?
It's going to be 12.
12. Okay, so we'll be covering weeks 9 through 13 on our next episode. But we've just kind of finished breaking down this. We're finishing breaking down this matchup, Broncos versus Cowboys in week 8. It's a dub. It's a dub.
Yep.
Like you said, Jay, the Broncos have had the Cowboys number since 1995. We have not lost a game to them since 95. No reason, especially with the rosters on paper, what they are right now, telling me that that's going to change.
Nope. It's exciting, man. It's exciting. These are totally winnable games on paper. Knock on wood for, injury and whatnot, but same can be said for the opponent as far as the injury factor. But these look like winnable games. And like I said, as much as I don't like the aspect of the short week in Philadelphia, the back right after that, the London game, we do get a nice little stretch after the London game of, say, the Giants and the Cowboys, that are NFC opponents, obviously. So maybe the importance of these games are a little smaller than it would be if it were an
we owned the NFL. We owned the NFC South last season.
Well, everyone owned the NFC South last season. But this is, I think, a harder division to have on the NFC side than obviously the NFC South. But the only caveat I say for both of these games, both the Giants and Dallas, back-to-back home games here, is that we don't want to see a trap game overlooking the schedule type of scenario because they are NFC teams at home after that London game. So I just hope we keep our eye on the prize.
I do too. However, I do believe that the only true trap game that I see on this schedule for us is actually week 9. Our next
we did talk
matchup.
About that.
That is the trap game that I'm actually truly concerned about.
Yeah.
But that does do it. I have the Broncos at 7-1 by week 8. You have the Broncos at 6-2 by week 8. And we'll see, man. I still hold true to our record prediction that we gave as a network, based on a general consensus of 13-4, and I will not step away from that. What do you think?
No, I'm just not that far away from that. I think I had 12-5. I want to say. So things break out pretty well. We'll see by the end of the schedule here if we still hold to that or not. I think there might be another swing a game for me, so I might bump myself down to 11. But we'll see. We'll see where it ends. So far, so good on paper here. We're looking good. Playoff team, at least,
we
for
are.
sure.
We are, man. And I want to bring up one last point before we get out of here, and that's kind of goes back to when I talked about it earlier, that the national media is finally starting to come around to the idea that the Broncos are probably going to be something different this season.
Yep.
I was watching CBS Sports the other day, and Ryan Harris, former Denver Broncos offensive lineman, who's turned media member, was had a guest spot on CBS Sports. And he was joined, I can't remember his name. He was, I believe, a former linebacker from the Jets. He was the other guest panelist on that episode. And the I can't remember her name either right off the top of my head, but the host, she asked them to kind of, give a record prediction for the Denver Broncos. And I was fully expecting Ryan Harris to give us the love that, we know he will. But it was the former Jets player who spoke first, and he put the Broncos at 12-5. And I was like, holy cow, that's awesome. I was shocked and amazed and was like blown away that he said that even before Ryan Harris, who then went on to say, I love what you had to say. I loved all of it, but I do have you by one in that I believe the Broncos go 13-4, just like just like the Orange and Blue Network has predicted. And I love that. Yeah. Last couple of comments here, and it looks like they're all coming from our Raiders fans, which is awesome. Jack says, hope to see us all in the chat on the MHRT Network show, Wild Wild West.
You know I'll be there, Anna. I love that show.
Yeah. I do my best to get on there when I can. Wednesdays are a busy day for me, so I sometimes struggle to get on and watch live.
Fantastic show.
But I always watch after the fact. And fun fact, I kind of had a hand once upon a time in giving that show its name, back when we were part of MHRT Network ourselves. Raider Shield says, Johnny, want to hear something effed up? Yes, I would love to hear something effed up. Jack says, Denver, this may be my favorite comment of the episode. Our Raiders fan saying Denver should take over and win the division.
Ooh. We talked
should we
about
make it a hot take?
Week.
Should we make it a hot take? Here we
I
go.
was gonna say,
Courtesy of Mr. Jack Kenna, Denver should take over and win the division.
Bruh.
Yes. We talked about that last week, though. We said it ain't going to be Kansas City. My hot take was that it was not going to be Kansas City. It was either
it's not.
LA or Denver. LA or Denver are the two teams that are going to win this division, in my opinion. I'm sorry, Raiders. I think the Raiders are up and coming, but they're not there quite yet. We'll see what Geno produces, but it ain't going to be Kansas City, and I think we're all happy about that.
I just sincerely hope that Pete Carroll doesn't have a heart attack and fall out of his wheelchair dead on the sidelines,
or he doesn't dislocate his jaw from yakking on that gum as hard as he does.
He chews that gum. He chews that gum like it's an enemy. Like, I'm gonna chew on you.
He really needs a Wrigley endorsement or ad in some form.
Wow. Okay. This will be truly our last comments of the show, but a point made here that I didn't realize until just now, made by Raider Shield. Buffalo Bills only leave the Eastern time zone one time. Think they want the Bills to get their first Super Bowl? Yeah, that's. I'm not going to say it again, Jay. If you want to say the word, you go ahead. I'm not saying it again.
Fixed?
No, not that part. No, that's what it is. No, the S word that our children say that
that's sus. That is sus.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's super sus. No cap. That is sus.
Raider Shield says, I personally sent Pete a 500 pack of Hubba Bubba.
As you should have. He should get a good discount on his AARP discount, I would think.
Do you remember me and you in the backyard, Jay, as kids, trying to see how much bubble tape we could shove into our mouth off the roll at once?
Oh yeah, dude. That and fruit by the foot. I do the same thing with that.
Oh, I still do that with fruit by the foot.
The whole foot. Foot in my mouth.
But you got to do it. But you can't be that loser that wads it up and then throws it in their mouth. You got to be that person that has to that hangs it from the mouth, hangs it down and tries to, and and gets it up into your mouth without using your hands. That is a true. That's a soldier right there. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. This has been fun. We're at an hour and 43 minutes. That's definitely over our normal time, but that's fine. Had a great night. Great new fans, great new subscribers, awesome people. If you liked what you saw and if you liked what you heard and you haven't already, I'm begging you. No, I'm not going to beg. Begging's for losers. I'm just going to implore you. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter for the Orange and Blue Network. You can check out the audio version of our podcast on all your favorite platforms. Make sure you ding that little notification bell so that you know when any of our shows go live and you don't miss any of the awesome content. Because don't forget, Monday through Fridays, we have Orange and Blue Blitz at 11 a.m. We also have the Broncos Bros, which debuted for the first time last night on Mondays at 7 p.m. This show goes live every week, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain. Broncos Talk, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Viva Los Broncos, for all you Spanish speakers, is live Fridays at 6 p.m. We also have our breaking news podcast, Fresh Squeeze. Whenever there's breaking news, we have our pregame show, Get Bucked. We also have our Bucked Your Feelings postgame show. So make sure that you ding that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of it. You can do it! Yes! As we've been so graciously blessed with the presence of several of them tonight, we are partnered with the MHRT Network, which we used to be a part of at one time. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, even on Instagram for MHRT Network. Guys, I'm Johnny Baki, the Mile High Viking. I cannot wait to see you guys next Tuesday to break down another section of our season. We are so appreciative of all your fandom, your time that you spend with us. Thank you so much. I want to thank my cousin, my co-host, as always, for being here with me tonight. And I hope you all have a great week. So with that said, go Broncos! Have a great week, guys.
Let's go.
Bo Nix, baby, Bo Nix!
Orange and blue, we're here for you. Talking Broncos all day through. No stopping us, we're on the loose. Come join the crew, no bad news. Podcast vibes so fresh and true. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Catching up on all that we knew. Hit play, let the episodes accrue. Nothing rhymes with